Day 193 of the cut, and with how Justin has my diet set up right now, I have my normal training days, medium days, 75 grams of carbs right now, which does kind of suck. Got my low days that have 0 carbs, which really sucks. Then I have the 1 day a week where I have the high day where I'm getting 600 carbs, which is very nice. The problem with that is that this is my last training day before the high day, which means we are feeling very, very, very empty. So thank freaking goodness that it is my overhead press day, because this is the only training day of the week that I am genuinely actually excited to push on. With the weight loss, like, strength feels pretty limited across the board, but the difference between overhead press and, say, bench, for example, is right now my bench press feels not only like diet limited, but also very like not used to leverages limited, whereas overhead, that is not nearly as much of a problem. So we're gonna wake up and crank. So much fun. And the other thing that's helping with that situation is that for a lot of years, I really wasn't taking my overhead press training all that seriously, which means that even though we are feeling very, very low, there's still like a lot of room to grow here. Gonna make sure we put some sauce on this one just so we can go up with confidence. Last week we went 225 for 15 for the top set. This week I'm thinking I probably want to be a little bit more aggressive with loading just so we don't end up limited by the gas tank. So we'll go 235 for 3 for the last warm-up, then make a judgment call on where I want to put the top set at. Again, got to take her a little bit more seriously than I probably need to since we're only running 3 reps here, but want to make sure we set the tone for the top set. Yeah, we're going to be able to have at least a little bit of fun here. And 265 might be a little bit aggressive on paper, but not going to get stronger by not trying. And aiming for at least 5 here so don't look too stupid for putting it on the bar. So spicy.
Good. Keep going. Got another one. Keep going. There you go. Fight through. Solid.
I think that's a PR. I'll have to double check, but
That was good.
I got to 5 and I was like, okay, they got 6. Got to 6, like, they got 7. I was like, okay, fuck it, we got another one. And if there's one thing that I'm really good at, it's figuring out how to take a lifter whose progress has been stalled out and getting them to make better progress than they ever have, no matter the circumstances. How do we do that? We coach them so they have a solid technical base and ensure their programming set up so they're prioritizing the right secondary and accessory movements for their weak points so they can build up strength where they need it and ensure that they have the tissue tolerance and control so they can stay healthy to make progress for the long haul. So if you're sick of being stuck in your training, hit the link below, join the team, and we will make you a better lifter. So yeah, absolutely freaking stoked with that. And that showing that well tells me 2 things. Number 1, the work that I'm doing to drive up my overhead press is clearly working. And number 2, if my overhead press is being driven up like that, bench is going to be coming right along with it. So we're back on the Smith machine to crank on the thing that is the main driver behind the barbell press strength. And what I'm doing differently on here versus the barbell is the barbell, I'm really tucked in and narrow in my grip, whereas this wider grip, letting it flare out more. And the reason that I'm letting it flare out more here is that doing this way is going to be better for overall delt building. Whereas if we're thinking about how I'm doing the barbell press where I'm packed in, I'm trying to get carryover back to my bench. So being in this position, like humerus position, bottom of bench, humerus position, bottom of the overhead, like that is going to be giving me the shoulder strength necessary to drive out at the bottom of bench press. In case that didn't make sense, primary goal of the barbell positioning, bench carryover, primary goal of the Smith positioning, pure delt strength. And in order to build that delt strength, gotta beat what we did last week, which was 3 plates for 4. So gonna make sure we make 2 move like we can do 3 plates for more than 4. We're going to be okay. Going 2.25 though, because I don't have the balls to go straight to 3. It's so fucking weird right now because it's like the moments before the set, I'm like, fuck, I'm dead, fuck, I'm dead, fuck, I'm dead. Then as soon as it move, and it's like, oh, we're still okay. So yeah, sucking it up, dig it in for 3. Because it's like, act like you're going to be weak on a diet, you're probably going to be pretty weak. Act like you're going to be strong, well, at least got a shot of being strong.
Come on. Good. Good. Easy work. 2. Come on. You got one on the tank. Another one's there if you want it. Yeah, lock that out. Good. Good. Good shit.
Forgot that Darrell slid the bench a little bit back for his set, and I unracked it. I was like, oh, we're far back, but just committed and went for it.
Okay, I was like, holy shit, that's far back.
But I am pretty freaking okay for 6 reps with 3 plates. And like after what I did on the deadlift day, after what I did on the bench day where we went up for another, I don't quite feel confident enough to do that here. So we're going to leave a little bit in the tank for next week. I mean, not that I left that much in the tank there because I was probably as close to an RPE 10 as I can get without crossing into crushing my soul with a Smith machine. Thankfully it's unilateral so I can't actually drop it on myself. But now we are moving on to the return of shit talking about Joel in the vlog because he's currently hogging the only dip station that fits me. Supposed to be doing hanging leg raises, I think, but rest period?
No, just
hanging rest period? Should I pull your shirt up so you can see your abs?
No.
No? You don't want to reveal yet?
Never.
No?
Not even on stage.
Just gonna go on stage in a
Fully
t-shirt?
clothed.
Yeah. Sweater, sweatpants?
Like, sir. Like, I actually don't think I want to do this.
Well,
Change my mind.
If you're jacked enough that you can win the show in clothes, like you're pretty jacked. But we're running dips, which is probably a good thing considering that the shoulder did feel a little bit sticky with less than perfect bench position on the last one. So we're going to take a body weight feeler, access some range of motion, and then make sure that it feels good to toss a little weight on. I love dips so much because it was like the shoulder was sticky for the first rep, a little bit less sticky second rep, and then third rep onwards, it's like, yeah, we're putting weight on for the next one. So we'll toss one on for first set here, and if that feels good, we're gonna toss more on for the next couple. We're good to go on 2. And I've kind of been getting used to like walking to the gym, feeling like I'm gonna die, then running through my main work and like waking up as the main work goes on. A little bit disappointed to report that the waking up isn't happening quite the way I want it to, which I guess means we just gotta suck it up and do what we gotta do. So on that note, if 2 doesn't feel like it's gonna kill me, we'll go up. Whew. And despite me not feeling very okay right now, dips felt half decent, so I think we will go for the going up thingamabobber. And what I'm thinking is, with how I feel, might as well give myself an actual reason to try to wake up, so we're going 3. It's like the perfect height to set up. Am a little bit nervous, not gonna lie. I gotta just like remind myself that I used to do dips when I was like this much fatter, so we should be fine, hopefully.
Then they're easy. Good. Three. Come on. Good.
Yeah, 6 was enough. Holy.
Huh?
Can't believe Darrell walks around like this every day. And I mean, now that elbows are nice and warm feeling, might as well go crank some triceps. For that, we're gonna crank Tate's on the incline again this week. A little bit higher incline. But unlike last week, we're starting with the 90s so that we can set ourselves up to beat the 105s we did last time around. Nice controlled roll in, big spread out. Thinking off that should be more than good to go straight to the 110s. And going for a big crank here with the 110s, because by the time we get into meet prep, like, we need to be handling 140 plus. That might have been okay enough that I'm gonna try to go up. And the 120s might get a little bit shitty here, but Tate presses, rolling dumbbell extensions, like, these are the kind of movements where I'm okay with some shittiness, because in my experience, the best way to drive up strength here is to be okay if it gets a little bit sloppy, because if I can move these a little bit sloppy, I should be able to move them less sloppy in the coming weeks. Was actually less shitty than I was expecting, so I'm okay with that. And now that that bullshit's over, we're gonna move on to the less terribly executed tricep slot of the day. So we're back on the world's most aggressive triceps extension machine, and gonna pretend I learned my lesson from last week and not be as aggressive in loading, since I'm running this as my second tricep slot of the day, because I'm feeling a little bit cooker from the Tates. Make sure we're not short in range of motion too bad. Embracing that stretch, squeezing out of it, trying not to be an asshole and jerk out of the bottom. Because like if it's a stricter slot, you should at least try to keep it stricter, you know? Happy with that standard, so probably gonna keep it here and keep it to that standard. Yeah, I don't need to go up. Like last week I tried to go up from here, like after the taste was just so fucked. I think it's like one of the machines where like going up, like you can, but it just feels shittier than I want it to feel, so strict and squeezy. It's like so freaking hard to not just like fling it out of the bottom, like making sure I'm contracting out, not just momentuming, is much more difficult.
I'll help you put it back.
Woo!
There you go.
So nice not getting like bucked in the back of the head by the handle for once. And tries are absolutely cooked off of that, so now time to do the same thing for delts, which means we're back on this guy. And I was actually kind of looking forward to using the other one today, but I mean, this is a nice machine, so we'll take advantage of it being open. Definitely feels heavier on my shoulder focus day than it does on my bench day, but we'll be okay. And with it feeling a little bit cookered, we're gonna go a little bit lighter and work to get some good work in. good enough. And it's like, if you ever find yourself feeling like you're overshooting on an accessory, all you got to do is just drop the weight, still work hard, and you will be more than fine for the next week. And considering the little bit of shoulder feels I had at the beginning, gonna run two things that I probably haven't been touching enough of lately. First off, gonna run the incline scap plane front raises. Make sure front delt is feeling nice and juicy. And the reason I like this is on the incline, if my scap is pinned against the bench, the scap cannot roll. It's letting me access a little bit of shoulder rotation, a little bit of extra shoulder extension. And I find that if underneath the front delt is sticky, this can be really good to help open it up, if it is loaded appropriately, of course. And I think next set will go up just so we don't have to do quite as many reps. Shoulder stick completely gone after that first set, so we'll go 35. So hopefully this doesn't feel like it's going to make my shoulder rip off. Tiny bit sharp on rep 1, smooth on rep 2, so that tells me it's doing the job. I love these so much. I gotta remember how nice they feel. And next thing we're gonna run to unstick the shoulder gunk is seated dumbbell clean, because we're getting some T-spine motion, some scap motion, some shoulder rotation. And we're just gonna go until we get a nice upper back pump. Like, yeah, there is some swing, but it feels nice, so I know where I'm going with this. It's like entire trap, like upper trap, mid trap, low trap, rear delts, side delts, front delts. Like it's all cooked right now, so I'm a happy camper. 30s for round 2. And to make seat dumbbell cleans work, like what I'm trying to go for is rolling forward in the bottom, shrugging up, and then trying to shrug down as I flip the dumbbells around. And that's what makes it nasty on just about everything. The pump is unbelievable. And because in the last vlog, somebody commented that I have no lats, which is a problem that I'm well aware of, because as a powerlifter, I prioritized nothing but like elbows packed in upper back work to have the best carryover to my bench and deadlift. So we haven't done a ton of width stuff, which is why we're gonna be cranking on it for the foreseeable future to see if we can fill in that hole. I gotta put more weight in the stack first though. The only like problem with this gym, the amount of machines that they have, is like if there's a different one open every time I use it, like I never know how much weight to put on the stack because they all like way different. So we'll figure this out. A couple more, then we'll go up. And goal here is to not make this one too gross. Because perfect world will be able to go up again. Full stack next. And this will be another scenario of make sure I try hard so I don't look stupid for loading the machine up. Probably looked a little bit stupid for loading it up there, but I'm okay with it. And what I'm thinking for today's bicep slot is we're going to go for another stretchy stretch, really good movement for the shoulder. So we're running the Dr. Mike supine curl special. Let's try to get big length in the bottom, squeeze out of that stretch. And like, yeah, this will be load limited, but it feels nice, so I'm okay with it. You can definitely tell this will be good for me based on how it feels. You can tell this will be good for me based on how it feels, because it is tight in that bottom. That's what she said. As nice as these do feel, now that I'm actually training my arms, I do get the argument against them because with it being so load limited and the leverage kind of sucking, it doesn't feel like I'm getting a ton of actual biceps work in, so we're probably gonna run through this set, get a nice pump, and then do something where we can prioritize a little bit more tension. How far am I from the ground? Like a long ways, eh? No?
Like if you lean to one side, so that's like half an inch.
Oh, I don't think I got that extra half, though. Because, like, it's very hard, but it's also not hard, if you know what I mean. So we'll jam on these guys for a little bit more favorable leverage and stability situation. Hindsight kind of wishing I ran this before the stretchy ones, but that's what hindsight's for. One more. And it is the thing where the act of simply trying to train my arms more is making arm work more enjoyable because I'm starting to be able to tell that it's kind of working. And because it's kind of working, like it's more exciting to keep digging in and keep trying harder because maybe we aren't cursed with skinny arms forever. So we'll chug through. Have a very long ways to catch up to Travis, and that is my current motivation. Like, think of how many years of arm days he has on me. We gotta start catching up. Juicy. And last but not least, because I don't want to forget to do this 2 weeks in a row, we're going to do a little bit of therapeutic, feel-good pec touching just to make sure that surgically repaired pec is ready to go on Monday. Not that it has been giving me any trouble, but I want to make sure that it continues to not give me any trouble. Nice stretch, nice squeeze. Make sure to protract through the top. Allow a little retraction as I access the stretch. Feels good. We'll go up a little bit for next one. And all I can think about right now is how excited I am to go home and eat my sad 180 grams of chicken, 180 grams of rice, and a little bit of salad mix. So we're gonna crank through. That is fun. But we can't go home until we do something to make the squat brace better. And plan for today was to run standing abs, but I can't find my ab strap, so GHR sit-ups gonna be a fair substitution. And because we loaded them last night, what I'm gonna do is go for a little bit more length, range of motion here today, just so we don't overcook before Saturday squats. Actually very happy with how not terrible this bottom position feels. Not going to do it today because I don't want to be stupid, but I'm optimistic that we'll be able to start loading her with the bigger range. Update, I did find the ab strap because somebody hooked it up to the sled, and I guess we're already committed to the GHR setup, so I'll just finish my X set. And you know what? Fuck it. We're grabbing the 15-pound kettlebell and trying to go for that big range with a little bit of weight. More nervous than I should be. That is significantly grosser. Very glad we made that call. And like, today was definitely the most not alive I felt in a very long while. But I think the coolest part about this is, if you guys remember, a few months ago, right before I hired Justin, I was running my own diet still, and I was, just overcooking myself on all fronts and was just dying everywhere. Today, coming to the gym, I felt very similar to that, but the level of performance that I was able to sustain and the progress I was able to make, like, I am very, very, very happy with myself that I was able to find it today. And knowing that I was able to find it today, like, that doesn't guarantee that I'll be able to find it next week, but because I was able to find it today, that gives me more confidence that I can keep chugging, can keep pushing, can keep doing my job better on all fronts. And if I can do my job better on all fronts, keep the level of effort high, keep driving up the things that are going to build back into my comp bench, not to mention my comp squat, my comp deadlift, because those are also important for the total, like, we're going to be in such a good spot when food does come back in, because I have never felt this strong while being this low, which is very exciting for the upcoming meet prep. And again, just counting down the days until food comes back in. Still got, a couple more weeks of the shittiness to dig through, but we are digging through it, so there's no reason that we need to stop putting in effort, stop trying, and back off now. So we will keep her cranking, because, well, cranking's fun. Like, letting it get in the way of training, letting feeling bad limit performance, like, it's not fun to do that. It's not fun to just go to the gym and go through the motions and feel like you're gonna die. And if you can still find a way to bring it when you do feel like you're gonna die, well, it just gets more enjoyable to see what you can pull out of your ass. Anyways, I should quit rambling now, so peace out, guys. Have a good rest of your night, and I will see you in the team.